Hello everyone, welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast. Each and every week, friends gather around, talk about the games and playing things going on in their lives. This week, we have someone here that's not going to GDC, Justin.
I didn't. I just looked at myself in the camera and saw how low I'm sitting.
Gotta get low.
Goofy.
Get low. Get low.
Yeah, just low cast. Without low.
Yeah. Ben is gone off to C2E2 in the Great White North of Chicago.
It's Midwest.
I don't know, it's snowing over there. I don't know. He always complains about the cold when he goes there, so.
It's like 8 hours west of me. It's not. You're in the Great White North.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm not gonna have a whole lot to say because I've just been playing Final Fantasy 14, and if you know what an MMO is, it's an MMO. The rating's actually pretty damn good. There's a few
You're
like
up to raids.
huh?
You're already up to raids.
No.
Oh,
I'm like level 23. I just hit level
I thought you
23.
said the rating.
The writing.
Writing.
Yes, writing.
Okay.
Yes, the writing is really good. No, if I was rating, that would be insane. I wouldn't.
Right.
No, that's insane. The writing is really good. The character design is pretty amazing. It's really cool seeing like all these high level characters on their friggin' mounts. The most impressive mount I've seen so far was the Regalia from Final Fantasy 15. Like the car. Yeah,
The flying car.
it wasn't flying. It was driving along in the woods. It was so weird.
That's stupid.
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was so dumb. There was like a gigantic fat Moogle that someone was riding. There's a lot of really fun stuff in this game.
Yeah, if it didn't have a subscription, I'd probably play it all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a 2 game a guy. I'm just gonna play Final Fantasy and Destiny 2. That's the rest of my gaming career.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what have you been up to? You've been out for a while.
Yeah, I've actually been playing quite a bit because I was couch ridden for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just kind of like random garbage, like just trying out random things on Game Pass. I honestly don't even remember that well. I briefly jumped into Monster Hunter World, and then remembered that I don't like Monster Hunter. But it's got a good character creator. I really enjoyed that part, and then actually playing the game, I fell off super quick. And then let's see.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some random stuff. But kind of the key things were I played through Ori and the Blind Forest again, but the definitive edition. Because like when I first played it on PC, it was just the regular one. I didn't want to get the DLC. And the definitive edition is very true to its name. Like it is. I mean, it's already an amazing game, but you get a few new abilities, and like just the overall flow of the game feels so much more satisfying with the definitive edition. Because I thought it was just like the normal game until you beat it, and then there's like post game areas you go to, but it's not. It's actually like new areas that they just add into the game. So like if you beat it and then play the DLC, I feel like it wouldn't be satisfying. So I'm kind of glad I started over with this version and played through it again, because it felt like a totally different game with the way the new abilities mix things up. And like I got to one of the new areas and I was like, I don't remember ever coming here before, and I had to look it up. I was like, is this like a DLC area or what? And so it was just kind of cool to like play the game for the second time for the first time, if you know what I mean. But I really like the new abilities. There's like a dash that you can do on the ground or in the air, and it helps a lot for like getting away from enemies and stuff. And you can also use it to extend your jump when you do an air dash, because you could like double jump and then shoot across like through spikes and stuff. And then use like the bash ability or whatever to like grab an enemy's projectile and shoot up. So like you can go crazy far and like do some sequence breaking stuff to get a few of the ability cells and things like that early. So I ended up like maxing out the ability tree like before I even beat the game, and had like 3, I think, ability cells left over that I couldn't even use because I maxed it all out. And then the other new ability is I forget what it's actually called, but it's like a light ball. So you actually use it to like turn on lanterns and stuff in in the new areas, which is like easily the best part of the game. You're like manipulating light to like turn on like these invisible platforms, and you like jump from platform to platform, but you have to carry this light. And it's I don't know, it's a really cool puzzle section, and it's super hard until you figure out what to do. That's probably like half my deaths in the game. Um, but this light ball ability, like out in the wild, it gives you access to a few new areas. Like I said, they like added a bunch of stuff to the game. So I thought it was going to be like after you get out of those new areas, like there's no time you ever use those new abilities. But they actually added in like lantern spots on other parts of the map, where there's like a few new life cells and ability cells and things like that to like give you more stuff. And they're just kind of tucked away in these like little lantern alcoves where you light the lantern and it opens the gate. So I was kind of impressed how much they actually like integrated those new abilities into the rest of the game. But you can also like use the light balls to do a bash off of. So like if there's no enemies around and you need to get some more height, you can just shoot out your own projectile and launch off of that to like get over a gap or something. And so again, it really kind of breaks the game. Like both of those abilities made the rest of the game so much easier once I got them.
That wasn't part of the original game?
The bash was.
Okay.
But the light ball wasn't.
Okay.
Like you can only bash off of enemies and like projectiles and things like that. You couldn't send your own one out to bash off of.
Yeah.
And so I found myself like just like cheesing through the game after I got those. And that's a lot of like I 100% of the game this time, which I'm pretty proud of, honestly. Like that's not an easy game.
Yeah. For sure.
But a lot of it was because of those abilities. They kind of helped me like cheese through some sections and like completely bypass the way you were supposed to do it by just like triple jumping and then dashing across a gap and then light balling my way over like with bypassing all enemies and everything. So I don't think I would ever 100% complete the original game, but man, I friggin' love Ori and the Blind Forest. Like, I wanted to do it before the new one came out, like next week, I think.
Oh, it's really soon.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
March 11th, right? I think it's March 11th. Because I've already got that pre-downloaded and everything. Like, it's ready to go. But I thought I should beat the definitive edition in case there was like new story stuff added that I'd need to know for the sequel. And it does seem like it adds a little bit of like kind of backstory lore stuff to a few of the side characters. I don't remember seeing that stuff, at least in the original, but mostly it's so satisfying to play. So that was kind of a few days journey, was just playing through that game again.
Yeah.
But I beat it in about 8 hours. Like, it wasn't bad.
I'm looking forward to the sequel. It sounds like it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
just like the save points in general is like a huge step. Yeah.
Although I found myself learning to like the checkpoint system when you remember to use it, because you just do it before like a tricky part.
Yeah.
Rather than like having to start at whatever point it decides your save is,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely early in the game it gets really annoying when you lose a bunch of progress because you forget to put a save point down.
Yeah.
But I did hear that the sequel's like doing a lot more with combat, like Ori gets weapons and things like that.
Oh, that's
and
weird.
I'm a little worried that's going to affect the flow of the game, because combat was never really a major focus. Like I said, you can dash through a lot of enemy encounters, and most of them only exist to be platforming sections. So I hope it doesn't become like a hack and slash game like Hollow Knight, for example. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still excited. Aside from Ori, I got Borderlands 3, and me and Thomas played that a few times. Not a lot, unfortunately, because I was napping a lot and stuff, so our schedules didn't really line up that much. But it is really fun. I like a lot of the new stuff, like the vaulting, especially. There's a lot more verticality in the game, and like enemies all over the place because you can get to them, up on the toppest peaks of buildings and things like that. So you really have to look out for like where everyone is located. Which I tend to be a sniper anyway, so I'm kind of prepared for that kind of thing. But I chose, what was it, Moze? Is that the name?
Yeah,
The
I
mech
think
character.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I chose the mech character.
I always want to say Moz, but it's Moz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like that mech. It's super cool.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's so overpowered, man. It's
I know.
great.
Like, you can be in it for like a minute at least.
Well, yeah, at least. Yeah.
I found myself outlasting firefights with it.
Oh, yeah,
Where I
yeah,
was just
totally.
like, I guess I'll just stay here until it runs out.
Yeah, exactly. Just wander around in your mech, picking up
Yeah.
loot. Yeah.
But it's really good. We gotta play more of that.
Yeah, for sure. I got a friend that keeps bugging me. He wants to play. Like, we're pretty further ahead, like level 30 something at the moment.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And one of the maps that we're on, it's like a swamp area, but it's gigantic. Like, there's the map. It's like the initial map, but then there's all these side sections you can go off to, and those are gigantic as well. So like, they do have a couple small areas, but they do have the gigantic worlds as well.
That's good.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it would be a shame if they didn't take advantage of the new hardware to make bigger areas.
Yeah.
But on the other side of things, I tried to beat Banjo-Kazooie for the first time, because I've gotten like pretty far into it, but I've never actually beaten it.
Try to.
And yeah, my goal was to actually like 100% complete that, because I beat Ori and I was like, okay, I'm a pro gamer now. I can do this.
I win 100% every game I play now.
Right. And I was actually doing pretty well. Like, I got through Gobi Desert with everything, and then I spent way too long in that stupid mansion level. I hate it, like the haunted mansion.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting all the jiggies, but I just didn't care to actually like 100% complete the world itself, because there was just some BS in that level that I didn't care about. And then I realized that like at that point I basically had the amount I needed to like essentially get to the top and beat the game, but I wanted to go ahead and try to finish up the other worlds. So I went to Rusty Bucket Bay or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
And that level broke me.
It's not good.
No, it's not. And it's got that one jiggy that's like the worst one in the whole game by most people.
Yeah.
Where you have to like slow down the propellers and then backtrack through on a time limit, go into the poison water and try to get past the propellers to the jiggy in the ship. And I did all of that. Like, I was running against time a little bit. I was like just a smidge behind, and literally like I swam down into the water, went into the propellers as it was counting down like 3, 2, 1, and the camera freaked out and the swim controls got all wonky.
Oh no.
And like I was like probably bare pinky on the jiggy.
Oh my god.
And the propellers kicked in and I died.
That's such bullshit.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. So
Yeah.
I checked out Click Clock Wood, because I heard that was a cool concept level, like with the different weather changing or the different season changes and stuff. And like it was cool, but I just didn't care anymore at that point. I was like, I'm gonna beat the game. Like I'm done. Like, this seems like a cool world, but I don't need it. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that one's not so bad.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, I wish I had like known better and skipped Rusty Bucket Bay.
Yeah.
And then gotten everything in Click Clock Wood and then beat.
I didn't even like getting to Rusty Bucket Bay. Like, getting there was a pain in the
No,
ass.
it's an awkward.
Yeah.
Like, because I couldn't figure out how to raise the water level. I didn't know you had to stay the pumpkin transformation.
Again.
Go through this thing, and then go into a house just to change out of the pumpkin transformation so that you can like break the things to hit the water level.
Water levels do not.
Get out of there, and then go back into the level so you can go to Mumbo's hut, change back into the bear, and leave the level. Like, it's so convoluted.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Water has never made a game better.
No. And that's just unnecessarily convoluted. Like, make it so you can just go in as Banjo. That would have fixed everything. But for some reason, you have to be the pumpkin to get in and get out.
Yeah.
And you can't just undo your transformation, so you have to go back into the level. And yeah, it's unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I gave up and just went to the final grunty area.
Okay.
And did not realize that it's like a board game trivia thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's a board game.
Yeah. So I gave it a few tries, And I got mad because I realized that like the witch category is just the random facts that her sister gives you throughout the game.
Yep.
And they're not set answers. Like
No.
they're randomized whenever you start the game.
Yeah. Is there a timer to them? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it doesn't matter. Like the others you can look up. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
enough time you can look
Yeah.
them up.
Okay.
But those, they can't give you the answers because they're randomized depending on the game. So it's just any one of three things. So I basically I could have just kept going until I ran into the same answers again, and tried all three because it's set at the beginning of the game,
Mhm.
not at the beginning of the
Yeah.
the match or whatever. But I just
Also, like
that
the
kind of
things
thing
are
breaks
her,
me. Like, I
yeah,
just don't care
the
anymore.
things her sister says isn't even that funny either. So
No.
it's
Like I'm not gonna run around to each of her sister spots and write down the answers just for that. Like I'm not gonna do homework to beat the game.
right. I remember that part just being a pain in the ass, and I didn't
Yeah.
like it at all.
So I still have not beaten Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, come on, you're so close, man. Just finish it off.
I refuse.
No.
It's a matter of principle. And I started Banjo-Tooie to see if that one was any better for me.
Oh yeah.
I quit in the first world.
Yeah.
Everything about that game is so much more obtuse than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think I just don't really like Banjo-Kazooie that much.
What? No. No.
Because as a kid, I remember enjoying it, but I never beat it. Like, I think I got to... Like, the furthest I ever got was Gobi Desert. And I never, like, went through that whole world. So I just remember having fun. And to be fair, like, early parts of the game are fantastic. It's just some of the later levels are ridiculous. And the fact that when you die, like, everything resets is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Still haven't beaten Banjo-Kazooie, but I made a valiant effort.
Yep.
And on the PlayStation side of things, I quote-unquote finally beat God of War.
Yay.
But by that I mean I saw the credits, because apparently I had already beaten God of War. So the last time I played, it's like months ago, I went through that final Baulder fight, saw the the twist with his son and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and then it wanted me to go to Jotunheim, so like I went to wherever close to the teleportation platform and saved and quit. I was like, there's probably some big ending. I'll do that next time. So when I booted it up, I went to Jotunheim, walked up the mountain, got a cutscene, and then walked back down to credits.
Yep.
I played the game for like 5 minutes
Yep.
to realize that I had already beaten it after.
Look
all
at
those months.
a mural on the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I looked up the like in credits tease or whatever online because I didn't realize that I had missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really excited for that Norse stuff. That'll be cool.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was actually really funny to me because like I think I was on a call with a friend. Sometimes we just like load up PlayStation and like play separate games but talk to each other during.
Yeah, I think you were
And
telling
so I was
me about,
talking. Yeah, I was talking to him while finishing the game, and like I walked down the mountain with the credits, and I was like, dude, did I?
I think I just beat God
Like,
of War.
is there more? Like, I'm confused. And he's like, what did you see? Because he'd beaten it already. He's like, oh yeah, that's the end.
That's
Yeah.
so funny, dude.
So just because I was already in the call, I went ahead and booted back up Kingdom Hearts 3 to see if I could tolerate playing that game more. I beat the Frozen World.
Yay!
It was a chore, but I did it.
Yay! You did it.
But I can't. Like it's a bad game. Like I got to the Pirates of the Caribbean world, and I was like, we ended the call about the time I finished Frozen. So I was gonna just go to the Pirates world because I couldn't save before then, and like start it up, get through the obligatory like, hey Jack, how are you doing, and then save and quit. 20 minutes later, I was still in the Pirates world without a save point yet, because it
What?
just throws you right into the like a bunch of battles and scripted segments and stuff
Oh
like
my
that
God.
before you ever see a save point. And then it's just like I played a little bit longer because I was just like, what is this world? Like, is it just a bunch of battles? And you're just like swimming around, and then you get a ship, I guess, and like just explore the seas, and it feels really aimless. And I heard this is one of the good worlds. So I was like, I think I'm done with this game.
Wow.
I don't think I care anymore.
It's like you're just discovering all of your childhood games are just bad.
I know. No, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are still good games. Dream Drop Distance is pretty good. The others are garbage. But to be fair, I never really liked any of the others in the first place. Like Birth by Sleep, I've never played more than a few worlds of because I just hate it. Like, the mechanics in that game are bad. And 380 whatever stupid is boring. I never even got to a Disney World in that game. Because like you spend so long in like the intro, like Twilight Town or whatever, that I just stopped caring. And Recoded's actually pretty good, but it's kind of a budget DS game. Like, it felt like more of the same, but it's got some fun sections in it. But I don't know. There's just too much bloat in that series, so I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
To me, Dream Drop Distance is Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, the way it like plays directly into 3 is like a really nice story it tells, despite being a side story. But anyway, beside the point. And then moving on to Nintendo. I actually didn't play my Switch much like early on. Because I didn't have it plugged into the TV. I only have 2 HDMI ports in the new TV. But I got the Zero and ZX collection this week, and I've been playing through Zero 2 because I beat Zero 1 like on a Let's Play a few years ago with my friend Hugo. And so I just wanted to jump into 2. And I like there's some new features in this collection that really help, like the save assist system, where it basically gives you like checkpoints throughout the level. So it doesn't seem like you can actually game over, because whenever you die, you just start back at that checkpoint rather than losing a life. And it's super handy because like the checkpoints are pretty smartly laid out, where it's like, you know, right before a boss, or like right before like a really like challenging like pit section, you know, those kinds of things. But it's still just a lot of trial and error. And the thing that kind of sucks is like there's no dialogue skip option in 0-2. There is in 3 and 4 apparently, but not 2. So even with those checkpoints, you load up, go through the gates, like mash through the boss dialogue, and then usually die pretty quickly because they're hard. So there's still a lot of grind in the game, but I've beaten 2 of the Robot Masters so far, and I've maybe played like 3 hours total. And I'm almost done with the 3rd one. I like stopped at the boss doors before we started tonight. So like I think I stand a pretty good chance. Like my main problem with that game was how brutal the difficulty is. And because like, you know, when you get a game over, you start back at your save point like before the start of the level. And so I got tired of playing through the whole thing every time. So like with 0-1, the reason I could beat it was because it was a ROM, so I, you know, save scummed through it with save states. This is kind of that same thing, but, you know, legit. So I feel a little bit more authentic about it. I refused to do the casual mode that you can activate, because unlike in the X collection, it's not something you can toggle on and off at will. Because there's a few moments in the X collection I like sleazed through it just because like it was a section I'd done a few times already, and I'm like, whatever, I just want to get through this and move on. So I, you know, flick on casual mode, like god mode my way through, and flick it back off when I got to a part that I, you know, was new to me again. And I played through all of X7 with it because that game sucks. But this one you have to start the game with it. So like if you turn it on and try to continue your game, the title screen just shows new game, which kind of sucks. So I might turn it on at some point, like for 3 and 4, because they're quite a bit more difficult. But I'm gonna try to get through all of 0-2 at least without it, and then go from there. Because I don't want to start over now. But it's definitely a challenge. Great games though. Like I never really played 2 through 4 that much. I just played the crap out of 1. But I've heard they're all really good. And then I'll jump into the ZX games because I want to do everything chronologically because it actually has a pretty compelling story. And aside from that, I just played a few other Mega Man games for the video I put out today, as of this recording, that is. Just kind of like casually throughout the last few weeks when I could sit up and actually record for a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I dabbled in Disgaea 5 because it's on sale right now, so I wanted to try out the demo. But I think that game might be too anime for me. I'm not sure. I like the battle system, like there's some cool stuff there, but I just don't care about the characters.
What did I say to you when you said you wanted to play Disgaea 5, or you wanted to play a tactics game and Disgaea 5 was calling to you?
I know, you understand my game taste so well. Don't rub it in.
I'm like, the game's too anime, and then you're like, I like anime. I'm gonna play it.
Well, I mean, anime is a very broad term, too. Like, yeah. I do like some anime, but there is a such thing as two anime.
There is, yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I want to keep going, but I probably won't buy it. I'm just kind of intrigued by the demo. Like, learning the mechanics and stuff. But also, it's like hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't get into games that are that dense anymore. I like things like Ori that are 8 hours and out, you know?
Yeah. I just life the game, so I don't play anything else. That's what I do. Alright.
Oh, we gotta play some Division 2, also.
Oh, yeah. Hit me
now
up.
Now that I can use my computer again.
We have to continue Halo as well.
That's true. Yeah, all the things we were playing were on PC, so I was kind of...
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get Borderlands 3, so we could do that, but then I slept a lot.
It's fine. I've been very busy lately.
Yeah, I
know. So speaking of Borderlands...
Fancy podcasts.
My clan, my podcast, I'm too busy. Sorry, Justin. No. Yeah, so speaking of Borderlands, Borderlands 3, Steam March release date has been announced. Crossplay with the Epic Games Store. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's huge, honestly.
I kind of hope that they introduce some kind of crossplay with consoles sometime. So we could play with a certain person that no longer exists.
He low-key exists. That would be awesome. I don't see it happening. But then again, I'm surprised that Epic and Steam would play with each other.
Right. They have to have some kind of deal with them, with those two.
Yeah. Because I get that with some things, like, you know, Halo, for example, is crossplay between the PC, like, Xbox app and the Steam version. But it's still not crossplay with the Xbox version. So it's kind of weird the way like PC and console play with each other.
Yeah, it's weird. I know Call of Duty does it. It just depends on what you're using for your input.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah. So I figure like if they can do it, I just assume eventually everyone's going to be cross-playing. But who knows?
They should. Yeah.
So yeah, Borderlands 3 will hit Steam on March 13th, 2020. Yeah, crossplay. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the story here.
Yeah, it said weapon mailing won't be available on day one, but okay. Like between systems.
You will have to use their shift system to manage your friends list though, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that's the only way to do a workaround.
Yeah.
It always has to be some kind of third-party thing to manage it.
Yeah. So let's talk about GDC being canceled. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but yeah, it's been officially canceled.
I mean, everyone had pulled out. I don't think that's really that surprising.
No, it's not. I have this article on TechCrunch. Let me share it with you. There. Well, after what I'm sure was a hectic few days for the folks playing the GDC in San Francisco, the team announced today that they have officially decided to cancel the event happening this March, saying in a blog post that they hoped they would be able to reschedule the event for later in the summer. Recent days, nearly all the event's top corporate sponsors announced that they would not be sending employees to the event due to concerns surrounding coronavirus. Microsoft, Unity, Epic, Amazon, Facebook, and Sony all bowed out at the event. No statement from GDC at this time. Company behind GDC detailed that they will be refunding the conference and expo attendees in full, though a blog post details that the group hopes to host GDC event later in the summer, noting we will be working with our partners to finalize the details, and we will share more information about our plans in the coming weeks. GDC is just the latest tech conference to be shuttered in the wake of the worldwide concern surrounding the outbreak of coronavirus. Yesterday, Facebook announced it would be canceling the in-person component of its F8 conference, and we already seen cancellation of GSMA's Mobile World Congress in Barcelona.
Yeah, like, coronavirus is not only affecting every person, it's also majorly affecting, like, the economy and stuff. It's kind of scary. When something starts in China, which is, like, the economic hub of the world, you know it's gonna, like, wreck shop.
Yeah. And yeah, so they I think the people behind E3 has also said they're keeping an eye out, and if it gets any worse, they'll probably end up canceling too, which would be nuts.
No big loss there. I mean, a lot of people have already pulled out of E3 for unrelated reasons. So.
Right. But yeah, just think about the coronavirus. Like, this is going to have a huge impact this year on just manufacturing everything. Like game consoles, like the stuff that, like, my work is going to be affected by it. We're fine at the moment, but I don't even know. It's nuts.
And just, like, the stock market and stuff in general is all affected.
Yeah, the last week maybe, or last 5 days has been record down since 2008. So this is like the 2020 stock market crash.
Yep, basically.
It's nuts.
Because of a virus.
Yeah.
Vaccinate your kids. But this is interesting because there's usually a lot of big announcements and stuff that come out of GDC. So since they're planning on, like, just to get back on topic, because they're planning on rescheduling, I wonder if those announcements and stuff are still going to go out, like, just, you know, in a vacuum, or if they're going to hold those announcements for whenever GDC is rescheduled. Like, because I feel like they would have new stuff to announce by then.
I don't know. Probably will go out and like, if they're still planning to release it, it'll probably just go out in a press release.
Yeah,
that's how this stuff usually is handled.
Because, you know, Nintendo's just been, like, shadow dropping, like, trailers and announcements and stuff randomly the last few months really, instead of, like, doing a proper Nintendo Direct or anything. And I feel like they were probably holding some stuff close to their vests for GDC. I mean, I don't know if they were specifically going to be there, but they probably had some announcements. And so I'd imagine the other big companies were the same, where they had some big stuff they were just kind of holding on to. It's kind of interesting to think about how it'll affect the you know, video game news cycle for the next few weeks.
Yep. Speaking of the coronavirus, Play Inc. Is going to be pulled from the Chinese App Store over illegal content.
This is disappointing.
Remember when they, like, put out that press release saying, like, hey, this isn't, like, a real thing, like, it's a game? I wonder if they had in mind, like, this kind of thing, so that they wouldn't get pulled or, like, have no action against them. Yeah.
But China's super sensitive about gaming stuff anyway.
So the Cyberspace Administration of China has removed the Play Inc. from the country's app store, Which, by the way, Cyberspace Administration is a pretty cool name for it.
It sounds like Space Force,
Yeah.
but like Internet Space Force.
Right. Yeah. So over the inclusion of illegal content, developer Endemic confirmed the news in a blog post and said the situation has been taken out of its control. Decision by Chinese authorities to pull Plague Inc. from sale comes from the title received a huge influx of players. It reportedly became the top-selling app in China earlier this year, with the interest in the title spiking as a result of the coronavirus outbreak that began in Wuhan. Endemic has already been forced to issue a new statement. Studio explained that it doesn't know whether the game has been pulled because of its newfound coronavirus connection, and indicated the Cyberspace Administration has yet to offer a concrete explanation for the game's sudden removal. Do you think China thinks that this game caused the coronavirus?
Considering people think that Corona beer is connected to the coronavirus, I would not be surprised.
It's not clear to us if this removal is linked to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak that China is facing. However, Plague Inc.'s educational importance has been repeatedly recognized by organizations like the CDC, and we are currently working with major global health organizations to determine how we can best support their efforts to contain and control COVID-19, said Endemic. We're working very hard to try and find a way to get the game back in the hands of Chinese players. We don't want to give up on you. However, this tiny independent game studio in the UK, odds are stacked against us. Our immediate priority is to try and make contact with the Cyberspace Administration of China to understand their concerns and work with them to find a resolution.
2020 has been wild, y'all.
This is a hell of a year, dude.
Yeah.
This is a way to kick off a decade.
This is the year where we're supposed to see clearly, but all I'm seeing is fire so far.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's circle back to some of the bigger publishers out there. So let's talk about a little bit about Xbox. So this is February 24th was they released some information on the Xbox Series X. So they're going to have 12 teraflops, variable rate shading, hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, quick resume for multiple games, and smart delivery. And while you just pet your cat.
Smart delivery is?
What?
You know what smart delivery is?
Yeah, it's basically saying that when you buy a game that has smart delivery, if it works on your Xbox X, it'll work on the next console.
I think that's awesome. Like, Cyberpunk already announced that they're going to support it because they should. Like, all companies should support it. Oof.
Oh, boy.
Knowing that it's he just kind of fell. Knowing that it's a feature and, like, purposefully not supporting it is going to make you look like a dick now.
Yeah.
So I can understand, like, some maybe first-party games, you know, if they just can't play on the old hardware. But anything coming out this gen should be forward supported at least. Because like even Sony said that like all of their stuff is going to be backwards compatible, you know, as in like work on PS4 and PS5 for the foreseeable future. And that'll probably be a few years before anything is exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So if that doesn't work the same way with this, I already forgot what it was called.
Smart delivery.
Yeah, smart delivery. Then I think it's going to be major backlash for those developers that don't support it.
Yeah. Yep.
You're screwing yourself over too, because on top of the bad press, it just puts your game in less hands. Because I think a lot of people are gonna skip this generation for launch at least.
Yeah. I don't think you can double dip the way they used to.
No.
I think it's better to have people keep playing your game in this in like the way games are now.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the players keep like continuously playing your game.
Exactly.
That way you can sell them on some other bullshit. Like
it's a different eco structure.
Yeah.
But like the way you can double dip is by providing your game on multiple consoles with cross save.
Yeah.
Like I've heard of so many people like buying up Witcher 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2 on Switch, even though they've played like hundreds of hours of it on PC because they added crossplay to those games.
Right. Yeah.
Or cross save.
Cross save. Yeah. Yep.
So that's the kind of thing that developers should do as a thank you to fans to get them to play all over the place.
Yeah.
But you can't just ask them to buy the same game multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of
I think that's a cool feature.
Yeah, there's a lot of like consumer friendly stuff here. Quick resume is a pretty cool feature. It allows you to continue playing multiple games from suspended state almost instantly, returning you to where you were and what you were doing without waiting through long loading screens. So,
Borderlands 3.
Oh god, the loading in that is really bad. That's
why I haven't wanted to play it more, because unless I had like a good amount of time to devote to it, I don't want to boot it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of like technical jargon here. It's gonna have 120 FPS support, which is really cool. Allows it to exceed the standard of 60 FPS output in favor of heightened realism and fast-paced action. 4 generations of gaming. It's including backward compatible 360 original Xbox games and Xbox One. Game Pass.
And I love the backwards library on the Xbox so far. Like I said, I was playing Banjo-Kazooie because like I already owned that game apparently, like on my old 360. So it was just there waiting for me when I signed in.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of stuff, when you can own a game for so many generations and then it's just like you buy a new console when you have games already, is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. PS4 missed out on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of good information in this that was released.
It's interesting, the 12 teraflops and stuff. It says that it's twice as powerful as an Xbox One X and more than 8 times as powerful as the original Xbox One. I didn't realize the One X was that much more powerful than the Xbox One.
Yeah, dude. The Xbox One was pretty underpowered when it first came out.
Because that's why I got the One X, because I figured it'd be a little more feature-proof. But I'm really glad I spent the extra money.
Yeah, for sure. You put this in here, which is odd, but Bungie is removing their paid loot boxes from Destiny 2 next season.
I just thought it'd be something you'd want to talk about.
So there was a lot of Destiny news that came out over the past week. We talked about it on the Voice of the Vanguard. But yeah, they're getting rid of their engrams that you could buy from their Eververse store. But you can still earn them for just playing the game. So like every 5 levels past your season rank, you'll get a new engram that will give you stuff from last year.
They're also still in the free track of the season pass.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of these engrams because they only give you stuff from last year and I already have all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff I don't like about the Eververse store these days. I'm just saying. You can hear about that on the other podcast.
That's fair. Don't show your other podcast right now. But no, I just like this because it shows a future of no loot boxes. Like they specifically said that they wanted to get rid of them because we want players to know what something costs before they buy it. Bright engrams don't live up to that principle, so we will no longer be selling them in the Eververse store. So like they're not removing them from the game because they're still free stuff, but they don't want you to have to buy something where you don't know what you're getting. Because like you said, it could be stuff you already have.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're only having stuff in the Eververse store that you pay to get specifically, rather than randoms.
Part of me just thinks that it just didn't sell well, so they're like, let's stop doing this.
I mean, that's fine. Like, if it already wasn't selling well and it gets them good press to get rid of it, even better. Like, it was selling, so they're still missing out on, potential profit, because everything sells, let's be honest. But it probably wasn't enough to justify keeping it, and so they get, more profit from the positive press that gets more people to play the game.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. There's just a lot of issues I have with Eververse and the way they handle, like, their Bright Dust economy is trash at the moment. There's a lot of
That's what you use for the Bright Engrams, isn't it?
what?
The bright dust, what you use to buy the bright engrams, isn't it?
No, you use that to get the stuff that they sell in the Eververse store for quote unquote free. Their non-paid currency rather is the bright dust.
Okay.
And you only get that, like, if you play 3 characters, you only get about 3,600 or so. If you play 1 character, you get about 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,200. And then there's like there's an emote in the store right now. That's the cowbell, and that's like over 4,000. It's insane.
So like it maxes out.
Well, you have your weeklies that give you 200 bright dust, and each core person has 2 of those. But then you could do repeatable bounties that gave you 10 bright dust, and like so, it's just very under. Yeah, the bright dust economy is failing at the moment. It's kind of like a real economy.
That's the thing, is like with these kind of games, when they go free to play, they always have to find that balance. And I think this is a good sign that they're adjusting that balance.
And also like all the like really good like looking stuff, and like all the like not even all the good looking like stuff. It's just everything is in the Eververse these days, and there's hardly anything you can earn from doing raids like that's cosmetic and like fun to earn. There's a real problem happening at the moment. Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll become a one-game gamer again.
Next season's gonna be fun though. They're gonna introduce trials. My clan and I are gonna try and go flawless in Crucible. It's gonna be fun. We'll see. So let's move into a game that doesn't have any of this bullshit. Shovel Knight. New Shovel Knight spin-off game has announced.
Yeah. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Did you see like the trailer or anything for this?
Nope.
Okay. It looks pretty fun. Like, when I first saw the pictures for it, like before I watched the trailer, I thought it was kind of like a Tetris like dropping blocks type game where you like flip out the things. But it's actually kind of more like a puzzle version of Crypt of the Necrodancer from the looks of the gameplay. So it's kind of a top-down view with the grid, whereas I thought it was like, dropping down to the bottom. And you control Shovel Knight inside like the puzzle radius. And you go around like breaking blocks and attacking enemies and stuff like that. And like they have different attack patterns. Where like if they hit you, you lose an HP, and if you hit them, they lose an HP. Again, like Crypt of the Necrodancer. But it doesn't have the rhythm mechanics. It's just kind of that same idea of like as you move around squares, the enemies also move around squares. And you can like break through the cheap little enemies to get the treasure chests, or like healing potions or whatever the case is. And they give you different like attack buffs or like the special skills and things that you get in like the regular Shovel Knight game, like your magic powers. You can get those that you can activate and do like screen affecting abilities and that kind of thing. So it's essentially like the Shovel Knight gameplay kind of boiled down to like a one screen, puzzle mode with like kind of some Crypt of the Necrodancer elements. And it seems right up my alley. So like this game kind of came out of nowhere, and it honestly doesn't look as cool as the other Shovel Knight spin-off game they announced a few weeks ago. With like the 16-bit art style and the kind of like SteamWorld Dig type gameplay.
The Dig one?
Yeah. That one seems a little more dynamic. But this seems like, a fun, like, little,
Is this for mobile?
Kind of like, no.
No?
I could see it being put on mobile.
Yeah, this like it would be a fun mobile game.
Yeah. But it's for... has not said what platforms Pocket Dungeon will release on.
Huh.
All right.
Interesting.
So it could be for mobile.
All right.
But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any like controls on screen or anything. So unless you just tap them around, I'm sure you need a controller. But yeah, you also like. It looks like you move around on a world map grid to like the different, kind of level layouts, and like each like spot on the map is like a different level type. and you also like you actually fight against the other knights and stuff. There's a new puzzle knight they're introducing in this game, but also there's like Spectre Knight, King Knight, all those, and they have different attack patterns inside the puzzle map when you fight them. So there's some cool elements in there, and it looks like a lot of fun. But I don't totally understand the gameplay just from this trailer, so I'll need a little more information on it. But I'm intrigued by what I've seen. Also, I didn't realize the other one's actually just called Shovel Knight Dig. So it's literally like SteamWorld Dig with the Shovel Knight skin. I didn't realize that.
Yep. Next, I don't have anything. Next news story: Samurai Jack gets its first video game in over a decade. You ever watch Samurai Jack?
In passing, I think.
Not a fan.
I haven't like sat down and watched it, and I don't know enough about it to know if I'd like it. But it's not something I've ever been interested in, like, seeking out myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I used to be really big into the Samurai Jack show back when it came out. I didn't play any of the games, apparently. Like, I didn't even know there were games. But it's just so random to have this old, like, niche property, like, back in the limelight for a new video game. So Samurai Jack, Cartoon Network series that recently received a much-needed conclusion on Adult Swim. It's its first new video game adaptation since 2004. It's coming out this summer. Name of the game is Samurai Jack Battle Through Time. It's being made by developer Soleil, whose previous work includes Naruto to Boruto, No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, and Devil's Third.
Yeah. So I know people are excited for the game, but I hope their work doesn't speak for itself.
Right. From the like brief clips that they've shown of the game, it kind of looks like a generic, like beat 'em up type of game.
Yeah.
Which isn't the worst thing, but I don't know. I'm just surprised that there's another Samurai Jack thing happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it can't be worse than the Samurai Jack games that came before it. But
right.
Then again, knowing Devil's Third, it might be.
I've never seen Devil's Third.
Watch the Matt McMuscles video, the What Happened video on Devil's Third.
All right.
To get an idea of the garbage fire that game is.
All right. And another surprising game that was announced was Platinum Games is finally publishing its own original game. I did not realize. Huh?
And there's a cat in it.
I never realized that they never made their own original game before. They've always been just working on other people's games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Platinum Games has been making games under contract or with cooperation of publishers, whether that be Sega or Square Enix. Now it's finally making a game that fully owns and will self-publish. Right now, the working title is Project GG. In an official release, director Hideki Kamiya said, unlike any of the games we've made so far, it's going to be a 100% Platinum game title. For everything from its setting and characters to its game design, story, and how it's promoted, Platinum Games is in full control. The games Platinum Games previously developed ultimately belong to the publisher. Any and all decisions about the game are promoted, how their content is used, and so on are entirely up to the publisher. As a creator, it's hard to think of my games as my children. Kamiya continued, after all, it takes a lot of work to raise them up and a lot of love too. However, once they're done, any choices about them are entirely out of my hands. So for example, no matter how many times people tell me you should make a sequel to this game, or I'd love to see that on a console, there's nothing I can do about it. The project's short teaser is short on details. There is a person in some kind of suit, there are rocks and smoke, and I see a cat. This looks like a scene from Ultraman with a giant hero battling a kaiju.
Update, I don't think it's a cat. I think it's a Shiba Inu. A dog.
You think so?
Well, the trailer has a dog in it. But that one screenshot
makes it look like a cat, yeah.
So I guess it's the dog. Yeah, it's definitely the dog.
Okay. I don't know. It looks like a cat, man. Like,
If you watch the teaser trailer, it's a dog. That's what I'm saying.
all right, all right. So with newfound freedom, he says that there's tremendous responsibility. I think we can harness that sense of responsibility and turn it into motivation to make Project GG the best game it can be.
This looks like a dope monster fighting game. Like, I am very on board for that. Like a, destroy all monsters type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a Pacific Rim style game. Like, that's great too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's the dog.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. I see. Yep, yeah, okay.
You gotta actually read the article. You can't just look at the headline.
I did read the article. So there's a cat.
It was a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
Like watching the video instead of just judging the one picture.
It's 100% the dog, by the way. It's 100% the dog.
Yeah, it's definitely. Like that exact shot is pulled from the trailer, but he still thought it was a cat.
It's 100% the dog, yeah. Okay.
I hadn't watched the trailer yet because I'm just a guy. This person wrote this article. They should have watched the trailer.
Right, and I'm just watching the trailer now, so.
Yeah. But no, this legit looks like a... They say it's a superhero trilogy, which I don't understand that. Is it like Bayonetta, No More Heroes, and then this? Like, what are the first two?
Hang on, let me read that again. Hero Steel. Wait, is it an Iron Giant? No. Powerful climax to the Kamiya superhero trilogy. What? This is the the climax?
Like, essentially the third game in a trilogy of hero games.
What?
I guess one could be One for 101, because that was a platinum game.
What's
like
this?
No More Heroes, Wonderful 101 in this, maybe?
Oh, Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe. No, wait.
They didn't do Beautiful Joe.
From the director.
Oh, okay.
And Wonderful 101.
Yeah, you'd think
so I guess Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101, and then this one is the superhero trilogy?
Yeah.
Because those are all superheroes, right?
Yeah.
I guess. Man, everyone wants a trilogy these days. It's not...
Right. You'd think that if they were going to call this the climax to the superhero trilogy, that they would have listed the first two games in that trilogy.
I don't get it. Yeah.
But based on that, like, big robot guy versus a monster thing, I am just going to use my headcanon. This is a officially licensed Pacific Rim game, and get super excited.
It's an Ultraman game.
I don't care about that as much.
What if it's a fighting game?
I mean, if it's mechs versus robot or versus monsters, I'm cool.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes from this, because this is gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of good monster fighting games, or kaiju games rather. So that'll be fun.
The last good one was Destroy All Monsters.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. Yeah. So that's it for the news. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
I don't think so. I feel like there was one or two things we didn't really talk about, but they're probably not that important either.
Yeah, it's probably just like, PlayStation was released or something. I heard a rumor that it's going to cost $491 for them to manufacture the PlayStation 5.
There, which is kind of insane.
So, what kind of price are you thinking? Are you thinking $599?
I mean, I think it's going to be a $500 console, and they're just going to, break even to start. Because things get cheaper to produce over time. So if they're essentially breaking it even at launch, but can, sell games still, then over time they'll start to make a profit off of it. It's about getting it into people's hands. Like the Wii U, which granted that's not the best example, but the Wii U was sold at a loss at launch. It didn't start making money until about a year or two in when they could make the parts cheaper.
Yeah, they always say they sell it at a loss, the consoles.
It's just because you have to put it at a certain price point. And so sometimes that price point is lower than it costs to make it. And ship it. And, all those costs that go into it.
Yeah, and then the retailer wants their cut, and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I don't know. I think if it comes out at $5.99, that's too much.
No, it'll probably be 500. I can see them having multiple models, like a $500 base model, and then like a $550, like larger hard drive model or something.
Mm.
I did have one more thing to talk about after I sneeze. I didn't want you to think I was going silent and you in the show. Oh, that hurt.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, I'm gonna be quick and then go lay down.
Okay.
So the Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay trailer was put out. Like they did like a live demo at PAX, and that game looks awesome. Like it's legit like 5e D&D in a video game.
Nice.
Because it's got like a cool like dynamic physics system, kind of similar to Breath of the Wild, where like the things just exist in the game, and how you use them is up to you. So it's not like scripted events or whatever, where it's like, yeah, you can break this thing, but nothing else is interactable. It's like everything is possible, as long as it's within the physics system of the game. So it's got really cool stuff there. But the demo they showed was like one of the actual developer guys like running through this live demo. He talked about how like they wanted to do a scripted demonstration, but he refused and wanted to show off the game, like more dynamic, so he could kind of explain the stuff and like show it live, even though there was still like it's pretty early access and there's bugs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed off the really nice character creator and stuff, and then jumped in like right at the beginning of the game and died in the first encounter.
Oh wow!
The game, like they ended the demo with, so yeah, I said there's multiple ways we could have we could have done this encounter, and clearly I did it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the game.
Live demo, folks.
Access soon. It's really funny.
Wow, that's funny.
But he was like, to be fair, he was trying to show off some different things.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't normally do in battle. Like he threw a shoe at one point.
Oh wow, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, but like you have different things you could do, like push, throw, jump, like all kinds of like different commands on top of like your actual abilities and your weapons and stuff. And those things can be manipulated with anything in the environment. So like I said, he threw a shoe. He was like in his inventory, and he's like, I don't have a ranged weapon, and that guy's down there, and he's gonna kill my other party member, so I'm gonna try out the throw command. And he just threw a shoe and killed him.
He killed him with the shoe?
With the shoe, yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's based on like a D20 system, so like it does all of the calculations like kind of behind the curtain. You can like toggle up to see the actual calculations, but all you see like on screen is a percentage system, like by default. And so like you can critically succeed or critically fail, just like in D&D.
Wow. And
he critically succeeded with a shoe throw.
That's amazing. He's an Austin Powers villain.
Yeah. He was also talking about like the first attack he did. He's like, oh, this should be fine. It's a 90% success rate, critical miss.
Wow.
Like first hit. But yeah, it was really cool. Like that game looks awesome. I'm super excited.
Yeah. I hope it's good.
Early access like soon.
Really?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I hope it's good. Baldur's Gate needs a win. This is clearly a different studio than did the other ones. Larian Studios.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking it was Obsidian, but it's like a subset of that group or something, I think. But yeah, like I looked back at Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 because I remember them being, old games, and I played them a little bit, but I couldn't get into them. I will never go back to those games. They look very rough.
I bet they're rough to get to now because it's been so long. But I still have fond memories.
More recent Wizards of the Coast games or whatever, like set in the D&D universe, are still pretty rough. And like I've thought about picking up like Divinity Original Sin 2, because that kind of seems like a modern take on that stuff.
Yeah,
but it's still fairly scripted. Mm-hmm. Like there's things you can do, but anything outside of those things isn't possible, even though it seems like it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I might still pick it up if it gets cheap enough. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I thought that game looked cool.
Yeah, it does. So Justin, where can people find you?
You can find me if you look up Zero Score on Twitter or YouTube or Twitch/Mixer whenever I start streaming again, probably soon. I put out a new video this week on the weirdest Mega Man spin-off games. It was a lot of fun to make. I kind of was slowly editing it over the last few weeks when I could sit up at my computer, so it took longer than I wanted it to. But I'm mostly proud of how it came out. I cut a few corners to get it out this week, but I'm happy with it.
Nice. And you can find me, your host Thomas, on Twitter, CSG Thomas. Also here at Game Plays Stuff on Twitch. Here at chargeshot.com for audio, video, and written content. You can email me, Thomas at chargeshot.com. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. Rate us there for a good review. I'll read it on the show if it's related to our show. And until then, guys, I was about to do Yeah, I'm mixing up the outros for my shows. Enjoy your games and have a good night.
Oh no, we got too many podcasts.